Hey, backyard gardeners. Hope you're enjoying this wonderful spring day today. What a great day it is today to be outside. Anyway, look at the blue skies behind me, and all I hear is birds flying around singing that springtime music. And basically, today's video, we are going to up pot some of our zinnia plants. Basically, we're going to take them out of these trays that they grew in from seed. Looks like this. We're going to take them out of the trays and up pot them into 4-inch trays. 4-inch pots. And this is basically one step closer to getting them outside. So let's go ahead and grow. All right. So let's get into it. So these are some of the zinnia plants that I planted a couple weeks ago. I would say about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And if you notice the top of the plant's a little bit of a lighter green, that's new growth. And I'll just kind of give you a reference size-wise. These are actually getting pretty big, and they're about, I would say, about 6 inches now. So it's a good indication to let's go ahead and put them in something bigger. And if you notice these here, these are about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They started growing, and they're a little bit smaller behind, and as well these actually kind of I planted these after, but they caught right up to the other ones. So that's called succession planting. So I'm going to get these all into bigger pots, and next thing you know, they'll be out blooming out in the ground. All right, so this is a bucket of potting soil. This is my favorite potting soil. This is Happy Frog potting soil. I like this one a real lot. It comes through real good for me. You'll get used to one that you really like through trial and error. But anyway, these are the flowers that we're going to plant today. These are those zinnias that we planted a while back, a couple weeks ago. And we're going to use the 4-inch pots that we got on Amazon, the ones I showed you. And also, this is basically the size, what it looks like in the pot, so you know how much soil to put in there. And then this right here is a heavy duty tray. I would recommend using the very heavy duty trays because when you're carrying basically a a tray full of tomato plants and pepper plants, you don't want to be having it flip flopping around with like a weak one of those weak trays. So I would suggest getting a heavy duty. So basically, this is the after product of what we're aiming for to get those into a 4-inch pot. So let's take our pot and let's fill it up with our soil. Just make sure you don't put too much soil in there because if you do, when you go to put the plant in there, it's going to be basically sticking over the top. So just make sure I would just put, you have to test it a few times. Maybe put fill just a third of it up, then actually put the plant in there. And then you could just pretty much backfill it like this, like the way I'm showing you right now. And you want to just kind of tamp around the edges there a little bit just to get rid of any air pockets because you don't want air pockets. That makes the plant weak. Basically, when it's trying to establish those roots a little bit better. And voila, that's what it looks like. So that was pretty quick. That didn't take too much time. And I'm gonna basically just go ahead and just do all these trays, the whole tray. I'm gonna, fill the pots up, and you could do, one at a time like I'm doing now, or you could basically fill all the soil up and then go back and, do the pots. I like to do it this way because I get too excited and I end up putting too much soil in each pot if I do it ahead of time, and then next, I'm ended up dumping it out. So, um, let me go ahead and just fill all these up, and we'll be right back. Well, all right. We're at the final stretch, and we're adding our perlite to the top, and you guys know what that's for. That helps with moisture control, and it keeps the plants nice and moist. So every time you water them, it's very beneficial. And I'm gonna actually give them a little fertilizer. Anytime you repot any of these plants, it's a good idea to feed them. I could put a little picture of the fertilizer I use. I water it down because they are newly. Um, they're still somewhat new plants. And if you notice, I'm splashing a little bit of the fertilizer on the plants itself. So I'm going to take some fresh water here and just kind of pour it over and just kind of clean those plants off a little bit. And plus, that finalizes the rest of the water that they need. And this really helps them. And just remember, this is really easy, guys. And when you go out to buy these plants, you're going to basically spend for 3 plants, you're going to spend $16. And man, it is so much more inexpensive to just plant them yourself. So let's get to it. And if you learned something new today, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.